What if I told you that nearly 90 years ago, a Muslim philosopher predicted the political failures of both India and Pakistan, and even warned us about the world we are living in today? What if I told you that his warning was ignored, and we are now living inside the consequences? This is not a theory. This is not hindsight. This is the story of Allama Muhammad Iqbal, and a letter that still haunts our politics, our economy, and our souls. In 1937, Iqbal, philosopher, poet, and one of the greatest Muslim minds of modern history, wrote a series of letters to Muhammad Ali Jinnah. At that time, Jinnah would later become the founder of Pakistan. But back then, something deeper was happening. Two men, once divided, slowly began to see the same truth. Their relationship had not always been warm. When Jinnah agreed to the Lucknow Pact years earlier, Iqbal openly criticized him. But time has a way of refining clarity. Jinnah would later call Iqbal the sage philosopher and national poet of Islam. And Iqbal would say something even stronger. Jinnah is the only Muslim in India today to whom the community has the right to look for safe guidance. These were not compliments. They were recognitions of responsibility. But among all the letters Iqbal wrote, one letter stands above the rest. Written on the 28th of May, 1937, a letter that did not flatter power, but warned it. Iqbal told Jinnah something most leaders never want to hear. He said the real problem of India was not just British rule, it was colonialism as a system, a social, political, and economic order where wealth flows upward and the masses remain invisible. Iqbal warned Jinnah, if the Muslim League simply replaces British elites with Muslim elites, then nothing has changed. Only the faces have. Iqbal wrote, and listen carefully to this, the League will have to decide whether it will remain a body representing the upper classes or the Muslim masses. He said, a political organization that gives no promise of improving the lot of the average Muslim cannot attract the masses. And then he asked the question that still burns today. How is it possible to solve the problem of Muslim poverty? Because, Iqbal said, the future of the League depends on this alone. Ask yourself honestly, how many political movements today can answer that question? Iqbal was hopeful, cautiously, about reforming the Muslim League. But when it came to the Indian National Congress, he was deeply pessimistic, especially about one man, Jawaharlal Nehru. Iqbal feared what he called Nehru's atheistic nationalism. He warned that forcing socialism into Hindu society would tear it apart from within. Not because socialism is evil, but because culture and politics cannot contradict each other. Iqbal made a terrifyingly accurate prediction. He said, if Hinduism accepts social democracy, it must cease to be Hinduism. But for Islam, he said, social democracy is not a revolution. It is a return. Because economic justice, meritocracy, and dignity, regardless of lineage, are already embedded in Islam, in the Sharia, in the Sunnah, in the Muslim imagination itself. History proved Iqbal right. India today is torn by intense cultural conflict over the meaning of Hinduism and is among the most unequal societies on earth. Pakistan, on the other hand, fell into the hands of a military-landed elite alliance that concentrated power, wealth, and culture into the hands of a few. Different paths, same disease. Iqbal understood something before most thinkers did. Colonialism is not just foreign rule. It is an extractive system, a system where culture supports politics, politics supports economics, and economics funnels wealth upward. Colonialism never really ended. It simply changed its language. After the fall of the Soviet Union, the world was told something dangerous, that history had ended, that capitalism and liberal democracy had won. And for the last 40 years, the world has run one grand experiment. Greed is good. Human selfishness, we were told, creates prosperity for all. But the Quran warned us long before, this world is play, distraction, and competition, and its pleasure is an illusion. Unrestrained capitalism has destroyed the earth, normalized genocide on our screens, turned entire nations into extraction zones, all in the name of profit. And Muslims today stand confused. Should we reject power or participate in a system that corrupts us? If we refuse, we are exploited. If we engage, we become exploiters. So what is the way out? Iqbal does not begin with politics. He begins with the imagination of the self. He says all dysfunction begins when we divide reality into false binaries. Body versus soul, law versus spirituality, material versus metaphysical. Islam rejects all of these divisions. The soul and body are one. Law and spirituality are one. This world and the next are connected. Man destroys the world when he tries to fill a God-sized hole with material things. He forgets himself. And in forgetting himself, he forgets God. Iqbal writes, "You haven't reached the reality of man. For what do you seek God? From one accustomed to fleeing from himself? What do you seek?" The world does not need a cosmetic spirituality. It needs a return to God that reshapes how we imagine ourselves, our societies, and our purpose. Without love for Allah, we lack vision. And without vision, power only destroys. There is much more to be said, much more to explore. But for now, remember this. Iqbal warned us, and the world ignored him.